Next, we're going to see how to do the same analysis so that we compare the entrepreneurs based on their gender. So let's go back to the SPSS and let's go back to compare means and means. And this is a nice feature in SPSS. It remembers what you did earlier. So now the variable you were working before, it's already on the dependent list. And I wanted to compare gender, so now I take the gender into the layering, so into the list of independent variables. So now it remembers everything else that I chose the last time, but now it brings me a table where I will see separately the males and females. And I would want to present this information once again in a graphical way as a bar chart, so I will copy this table into Excel. And now I only want to use the means. So there are a couple of choices how you can easily do that. For example, one option would be to unmerge the merged cells and delete the unnecessary variables or the rows from the table. Now I say unnecessary, I mean for the figure. For the figure I do not need that information. And now the word mean is unnecessary here, that I don't have the other statistics there anymore. And in order for sorting, I'm going to copy and transpose the data. And finally, after I have transposed the data, I am going to sort it based on the total. Of course, I could select one of the genders, but how would I make the decision? Better to sort it based on the total mean, so it will be in the same order as the previous table. So it's nicer to put them in a report, because now the variables will be in the same order as they was in this one. Now for the comparison, even though I sorted it based on the total, I will not include the total for my figure. So I'm going to paint the area and do a similar graphical presentation where I do have horizontal bars, so it will be nicer to put them into the same report. I'm gonna take out the title, change Arial and 11, increase the size, and most important thing was to adjust the scale and from the axis option, so it is from minimum 1 to maximum 5 with a unit of 1. Another thing I wanted to add was the data labels, and I also wanted to add, this was a must, the axis title on the number axis, which of course is the axis where I have the mean. And similarly as before, I would indicate here what is the scale. And like I said earlier, an option to this is to write it in the caption underneath the figure. Okay, then if you would want, you could modify the colors, for example, or change the placement of this legend. It's now at the bottom, might look relatively nice also up top of the figure. But that would be now also a presentation which you could use as such in the report. And what you notice if you look at the figures, seems as though that male respondents have given a smaller value to all other statements except for I have enough time for my family and friends. And then females seem to be agreeing with the other statements more. And now you might wonder, can I make some conclusions based on it? Is this difference big enough for me to say something? Or is it just so close to each other that you can't really make conclusions based on it? This is a topic that statistical inference will give us an answer, and we will study that a little bit later on the course.